Istanbul. For centuries, the Turkish city was a key trading post along the ancient Silk Road, running from China to Europe. Today, it's the endpoint in the long journey for Uighurs escaping what they say is China's harsh rule. Uighurs like Abduweli Ayup.
When I am in Turkey, I feel thankful that, I can see the sky. Because I haven't seen sunshine for a long time. So for me, sunshine is freedom.
Abduweli is from the city of Kashgar in Xinjiang. It's there he devoted his life to teaching young children the Uighur language.
I love my language. It's beautiful. Uighur is my mother language. It's more than 1,500 years written history and written literature.
But Abduweli says one day Chinese authorities suddenly banned students from learning Uighur, and he was thrown in jail.
Abduweli, nice to meet you. Steve from 101 East.
Now, having fled to Turkey, Abduweli is speaking out about China's secret detention centers, where he says Uyghurs are being beaten and tortured. It haunts him to this day.
It's always on your mind.
Yeah,
There's no escaping it.
no. Because our soul, our heart is still there being tortured. We are physically here. My body is here, but my soul still there.
For years, the Chinese government denied the existence of these facilities. But with satellite imagery, we were able to locate where Abduweli was jailed. Over a period of 15 months, he says he was moved between these three centers in the city of Urumqi. Other Muslims have also reported being held in these locations. A human rights group secretly recorded footage inside this center. Chinese officials say they are for voluntary job training. But the individual cells with bars, locks, and surveillance cameras suggest something much different. Experts say China has built more than 100 to imprison Uyghurs. Abduweli likens them to concentration camps.
They are insane. Those officials, insane.
What do you think their end goal is?
They want to delete Uyghur. They want them to believe Chinese Communist Party as a god. This is what Hitler done to Israel people, Jewish people.
You just said that you see the Chinese government acting like Hitler. Do you believe that's true?
Yeah, it's true. Because you put more than 1 million in concentration camp. What word can describe it?
Abduweli's account of his treatment within the walls of the facilities is horrific.
First day is very bad. The first thing they asked me to took off my clothes, strip off my clothes, and they slapped my buttock. They abused me. More than 20 Chinese guy.
When you say they abused you, how?
That any man cannot accept that.
You're saying
So-
they raped you.
Yeah. So I can't forget that I didn't tell anybody. Until now, I hadn't tell anybody. Because I feel shame. In the morning, 3 police asked me, one day, if you guys in power, what you will do to us? I said, look, I'm a human being. I'm not an animal like you.
What followed, he says, was more violence, this time at the hands of inmates.
They put me in the cell with the drug addicts and with the killers. And they beat me. Like 24 hours.
And where were the guards? Where were...
The guards, they don't care. They want you to be tortured like this. If you tortured a lot, it means that you cooperate with them during the interrogation.
Abduweli believes the rapes and beatings were orchestrated to force him into admitting he was a terrorist.
I'm a scholar, I'm a writer, and I have never thought about that. I'm not a terrorist, I'm not a separatist, and what I confess.
101 East interviewed more than a dozen other former detainees. All share similar stories of abuse. Abduweli says even outside the facilities, almost every aspect of daily life for Uyghurs is controlled. There are reports more than 1 million Chinese officials have moved into Uyghur homes to monitor families up close. The authorities justify their actions, saying violent riots and attacks by Uyghur separatists over the past decade have killed hundreds of people.
The government says they are trying to stamp out extremism.
Extremism, what kind of extremism? For example, my younger sister, she's teaching geography at the high school, and is she extremist?
Abduweli says several of his family members have been sent to detention centers as punishment because he fled China. The fate of his younger sister, the geography teacher, worries him most.
We grow up together. And she has 2 kids. One is 6 years old, another is 11. I don't know what happened to them.
The next day, Abduweli takes us to meet another former detainee.
So who are we going to see?
Behar,
And she is...
Kazakhstan. She's from Kazakhstan.
And she recently came over here?
Yeah, it's 2 months ago.
Okay.
Abduweli is documenting the abuse detainees say they suffered, hoping the world will take note and hold China to account. Most who've escaped the camps are too fearful to talk, worried China will target their families. But Behar is angry and wants to share her story.
Yes, this is Behar.
How long were you held for?
Bir yıl 3 ay 10 gün.
You counted every single day.
Günlerini sanıp, saatlerini sanıp, minutlarını sanıp. 1 saat mı, 1 yıldak bilinip gitti, 1 saat.
Behar says she and other inmates faced constant humiliation.
Deşkimen nomuz kılma. Kim keçekler hemimiz değişip, bişimiz manda kıp 3 ketim da turup otağızıp 3 ketim.
At night, the cells brought more misery.
Şu bir kamerın içinde 30-35 adam yatımız. 15 adam maçta her bile okşaş bir katarda yatımız manda bıkınımızga. 15 adam, 10 adam ya 12 adam biz bende turumuz. Her bir 2 saatte almışıp turumuz kitsi. Tonusu men ayakta yürügüm sıkılgandı ki men yatay soğuk bosuma dep aş beton üstüde men yattım.
Behar says the police had no reason to arrest her. She had been visiting Xinjiang to buy clothes to take back and sell in Kazakhstan. She isn't even Chinese, but is a Kazakh citizen, something she says police changed on her records.
Onu meni aşo sen nime men hem de ismim nima, mening familiyam nima Xitoycha o'zgartib, mening shifrncha nomer berib Xitoycha. Bo'lmasa mening shifrncha nomerim emas Qozog'istonniki ashta berib, meni birlari izdisima, konsulliklar izdisima, men topamizmi deb ashtaqni berib qo'ydi.
What did they say to you when you told them that you are a Kazakh citizen?
Ben desem senin o sorakçağın, senin sakçağın, seni tutkan sakçı biledi o. Bizge maçtaq dep nomeri yezbedi, biz muş nomeri bile alsam bizge maçtaq düştü. Hemmisi qandaq jaza ötken bolsa aşaqdaki Jongunun menin qerindaşlarım hem aştaq oqşaşlı öt. Aştaq kunlarni ko'raman.
During her time in detention, Behar says she was never charged with a crime and never appeared before a court. Instead, she was subjected to terrifying interrogations that sometimes lasted 24 hours.
Tömeşkini yenak berbedim, beşim kalpak ki degen bolsun. Beşim kalpak kelip kolumga koyza saldı. Putumga kişen saldı. Kişende mağamasını putuluşup jıkılıp ketsem, aş sörep kötürüp meni, aşa sörep, aşa sorakçılığa kapadı.
Starved in detention, Behar lost 30 kilograms and has constant nightmares.
Meyli ben aş lagerden çıktım. Meyli Xitay meni öldürüp atsam, ben bütkül dünyaga anıltay dep çıktım. Ben
China defends their training centers, releasing this 15-minute video on state television. Uyghurs are shown eagerly learning Chinese, getting job training, and dancing and singing songs praising the Communist Party.
I want to show you this. This is China's version of what is happening in these centers.
还有民法、婚姻法、义务教育法等法律法规知识。
Ой, яг біздің лагерден шыққамайдық. O төмешікілер мүмкін емес. Біз талағы шықмаймыз, hava көмедік, күн көмедік.
So you're saying China is lying in this video?
Яған кеп кватыдық, яған,
Yes, they are
яған,
lying.
яған. Мен лагерден шықтым ғой, шыққаным мана бір ерім
I'm from
болды.
there.
Мен ешқандай онда шыққысам, мен қылаттым, мен
I
ешін
have never
қылмадым.
seen that.
One day, Behar says authorities suddenly released her and put her on a plane back to Kazakhstan. Feeling unsafe even in her home country, she fled to Turkey and now lives with other former detainees.
Бүткіл дүния қозғаш керек, бүткіл дүния қозғап ашлағы дәш керек. Қытай қойпәсін, бигуна етқан қиырындаштарымызды қойпәсін.
Abduweli, I can sense you're pretty upset by this.
They are curating the humanitarian disaster, and they are growing seeds of hatred.
Last November, that hatred and anger spilled onto the streets of Geneva in Switzerland.
China, stop the torture!
As China appeared before a United Nations Human Rights panel, protesters marched on UN offices, calling for the release of all Uyghurs.
I'm here to protest the Chinese government's illegal incarceration of millions of Uyghurs. My sister and my aunt, they are abducted. And my in-laws, my husband's entire family is taken.
Human rights set by China.
Inside, China's actions were being questioned, with some countries calling for the centers to be shut down.
We are deeply concerned by credible reports of the mass detention, repression, and surveillance of Uyghurs and other Muslims.
But Chinese officials remain defiant.
绝大多数的学员通过培训学习都能深刻反省错误，认清恐怖主义和极端主义的本质和危害。
While China denies it's persecuting people based on their religion, an unlikely source says otherwise.
Hey, Yusuf, 你好. 你好. 谢谢.
Yusuf Amat is a Uyghur who says he's a Chinese spy. He claims the information he's gathered has sent people, including his own family and neighbors, to the camps.
弄情报的时候特别伤心，刚不是说了吗？特难过，特难受的很，就像针扎的那种感觉。因为第一，我姐姐的老公，还有3个孩子的我爸爸。
Yusuf tells us he originally agreed to spy to protect his family and to be treated less harshly as a Uyghur.
连吃的、喝的、做的，
都报给他们，
都跟他们说了。然后 我实在受不了。
大概多少个人你有？
应该差不多10来个人。
Yusuf says his fellow Uyghurs can be locked up for almost anything. Reading the Quran, having a long beard or wearing a headscarf, studying abroad, or even talking to people outside the country.
我们确实在那儿被镇压、被压迫，确实有，但是很多人就觉得没有证据，而我是证据。
And according to Yusuf, China's reach is growing. He's spied on Uyghurs in several countries, including Turkey, and says agents have even abducted people and returned them to China.
他们想派人派到巴基斯坦也行，阿富汗也行，什么地方都行，只要有他们的情报，他们很高兴。
Despite helping the authorities, his family was still imprisoned.
你有后悔帮忙中国的政府吗？
有。没事，是个男人嘛。他们为我牺牲了，我姐姐、我母亲，还有我姐夫的兄弟们，还有他的妈妈、爸爸，还有我的舅舅，他们全都为我牺牲了，都已经在监狱。
He expects retribution for speaking to us, but believes he needs to clear his conscience.
这件事关于不仅是他们几个人，而关于在我们家乡活的每一个维吾尔族，每一个人，那些人都是我的亲戚，都是我的家人，所以我可以失去我的家人，如果可以让他们自由的话，连我的生命都可以随便，爱怎么样就怎么样吧，我活够了。
Uyghurs in Turkey have more to fear than spies. After years of offering them a safe haven, Turkey's president has begun making deals with China, with trade now worth $28 billion a year. Uyghurs are afraid Turkey will choose its economy over their welfare. For some, the time has come to move on, yet again.
Next.
A group of Canadian Uyghurs are here trying to help, registering those wanting asylum in Canada.
Organizers here tell us that in the past 3 days, more than 1,500 people have put in applications to leave. It's just another indication of how desperate people are to find a safe refuge.
The longer they stay here in Turkey, the more difficult their situation. Their passports are expiring, and China is refusing to renew them, leaving them in limbo.
Okay, there is no way to get even like temporary Chinese passport or anything. At the present, he is a stateless.
How common is his story, his example?
People I have interviewed so far, 100%. His case is just a rule. This is not an exception.
Turkey once granted Uyghurs citizenship, but that's become much more difficult.
There is a level of desperation.
Yes, yes. You cannot open bank account. You cannot rent a house. You kind of like, we have been persecuted in China. We have thought that, once in Turkey, we will be able to build a new life, but this is not the case.
Abduweli faces the same uncertainty. His passport's expired. Without papers, he's not officially allowed to work. At home at night, he tries to stay positive for his wife and 2 daughters. But with growing pressure from China and Turkey feeling less welcome, he worries what the future holds.
In our homeland, we were not accepted by Chinese government as their citizen. And in Turkey, we are not accepted as like Turkic brother here. you live just as a thief, not as like a man, like equal with others.
That frustration is pushing some Uyghurs to the edge. A day's drive from Istanbul is the town of Kayseri. Nestled in the Anatolia Plains, Uyghurs say it looks a lot like their homeland of Xinjiang. 1,000 Uyghurs have now made it their home away from home, a place where they can live the kind of life denied to them back in China.
Assalamu alaikum.
After prayers, we meet some of the men of the community. Most say they suffered in Xinjiang before escaping the crackdown.
Yana tayoq, har xil tayoq, yana inaklarimga, yana dumbilarimga, yana uningdan sirt, yana esib qo'yish.
But what they went through, they say, is nothing compared to the pain of leaving their loved ones behind.
Bu meninki ballarım 4 tane balam hemisi kampıda. Bu ballarımın annesi hemisi kampıda. Bular muşu bala terörist mu?
Bu meninki anam. 4 sene oldu bir de avazını anlamadım. Anam hayat mı, yaşamdı, yaşamamdı, keselme ne oldu? Ben bu anamınki ne boğan hayatını ben okumayayım.
What little news that does get out worries them even more.
Benim balamni mecburen şu Xitayca tilde sözleşke mecburlap hazır şu mengisini yop fakat Müslümanlıktan, Uygurluktan çıkarıp atkandan ki.
All this is fueling a deep rage.
Eğer ola bizden uruş talep kılsa biz uruşutimiz kanda bolsa biz özümüzün erkinlikini, özümüzün devletini talep kılmız.
Özümüz müstakil boluşumuz gerek. Müstakil bir devletimiz boluşup Uygur devleti boluş gerek.
How many people here then believe that Uyghurs need their own independent state? All of you.
Biz her türlü tedbiri almamız gerekir, her türlü bedeli ödememiz gerekir. Bu konuda eğer biz hayatımızı ortaya koyacaksak bunu da ödemeye hazırız.
Community leader Sayed Tumtur supports his people's resolve to fight.
By saying that Uyghurs should be fighting for an independent state, are you not thereby becoming the separatists that China says you are?
Biz geçen 69 yıllık süre içerisinde hiçbir zaman bağımsızlık söylemleriyle bir slogan, bir siyaset belirlemedik. Belki Çin'in bizim bağımsızlık söylemimizi farklı değerlendirerek bizi topyekun imha etmesine fırsat vermiş olacağız. Ama bizim başka alternatifimiz, başka çıkış yolumuz yok. Tamamen bugün kamplarla, cezaevleriyle topyekun imha edilmeyle karşı karşıya bırakıldık.
We contacted Chinese officials seeking a response to the allegations we've heard of detention, spying, and torture. There's been no reply. In Istanbul, Abduweli says he's telling the truth about what happened to him in jail. But rather than taking up arms, he's fighting back in his own way. He is passing on his culture to the next generation.
Our Uighur culture in our homeland, it's restricted and we cannot practice our culture. So whenever we have a chance, wherever we have a chance, we need to cherish it, we need to preserve it, we need to keep it alive.
Those chances are getting more limited in a world where China is increasingly calling the shots. For now, Abduweli can only dream of a solution to their plight. A safe place to call home.